Need computer training for a group or office? Contact us today to get a free demo of our training at www.teachucomp.com/enterprise-licensing.
The Background Eraser tool lets you erase pixels on a layer to transparency as you drag. This allows you to erase the background while maintaining the edges of an object in the foreground. You can use the settings of this tool to adjust the range of transparency and the sharpness of the boundaries. This tool will sample the color in the center of the brush, called the hot spot, and then erase that color wherever else it may appear within the brush. It also performs color extraction at the edges of any foreground objects so that color halos aren't visible if the foreground object is then later pasted into another image. It's important to note that this tool will override the lock transparency settings of a layer. To use this tool, use the Layers panel to select which layer on which you wish to erase. Now we're working with an image with a single layer, and we'll just go ahead and leave it as such. Then we select the Background Eraser tool from the toolbox. Shares the same spot with the other eraser tools that we looked at in the last couple lessons. We'll give that a click. Then let's look up in the options bar. You can use the brush drop down, of course, to select a size and a hardness and spacing and so forth. And I think we'll leave the size as it's currently set. Then you select a sampling using the three buttons. We have Continuous, which will sample the colors continuously as you drag. Once to erase only areas that contain the color that you first click. Or we have Background Swatch to erase only areas containing the currently selected background color. So it really just depends on the image that you're using and what you're trying to accomplish. Also in the options bar, you can set the limits using that drop down right here. Discontiguous, which erases the sampled color anywhere it appears within the brush. Contiguous, which erases areas that contain the sampled color and are connected to one another. Or Find Edges, to erase connected areas containing the sample color while preserving the sharpness of shape edges. And that's the one we want here because we are going to erase this background around these purple flowers, and we want to maintain those edges as much as possible on those flowers. Next, up in the options bar, for the tolerance setting, you set a lower number to limit the erased color to only pixels similar to the selected ones, or a high number to erase a broader range of similar colors. Because we're working with an image that has such different colors, meaning that the flowers are purple and yellow and the background is mostly green, we're going to leave that set at 100%. You can also check the Protect Foreground Color checkbox right here to prevent the erasure of areas that match the current foreground color in the toolbox. So, for example, if there were some elements within the flower that you wanted to protect, you could select that foreground color and select that option to try and do that if that color existed elsewhere out here. Once you have the settings on the tool set as needed, you then just click and drag in the image or the layer to remove the background pixels. And note that the hot spot in the brush appears as a small crosshair. So we just click and drag to remove those pixels. And you'll see that as we approach the edge of the flower, because of how we have our settings, remember that we set that to Find Edges. And a tolerance of 100% to remove everything that's green there. You'll see that it does a pretty good job of maintaining the edges. Now, of course, as you're doing this, you can use your zoom tool and you can zoom in and out for more precise selections and so forth, but then you could proceed all the way around the flower as such to remove the background. boy, that Find Edges selection really does a pretty good job. So now that we've done our edges, we can very quickly then erase the rest of these pixels. And remember that you can always go back and adjust your settings and make some more selections if you want to fine-tune it. But that's how you use the background eraser tool.
Like what you see? Get a free demo of our training for groups of 5 or more at www.teachucomp.com/enterprise-licensing.